We will extend maternity leave provisions and provide daycare support for up to preschool age. We will provide prescription glasses and dental care for seniors who cannot afford them. As your government, we will make Bermuda safer again. We will reopen the St. George's police station and restore some order to the town. We will open a police station in Warwick where the incidence of housebreaking is at the highest levels. In addition, we will hire new police officers for visible police presence in every parish throughout the island. And finally, we will move mountains to empower our children. In the classrooms, we will bring forward life choice classes to educate them about personal management, deportment, and consequences of poor decisions in life. In secondary schools, we will introduce disciplinary programs to protect the learning environment and to help student receptiveness to teaching. In addition, we will make sure no one is denied higher education because of financial constraints. We will offer $15,000 in interest-free loans to any college student and free tuition at the Bermuda College for students who meet performance requirements. This is just the tip of our plans for a better Bermuda. In helping our families in need, empowering young people to make the most of their opportunities and to ease the cost of living pressures in this high-priced economy. Ladies and gentlemen, members of Rotary, the choice before you in this next election is real and serious. How we decide will tell us much about our island home, about whether we believe in open, honest government, or whether we believe it is important to hold public officials to the highest standards of conduct, or finally, whether governments are accountable for their record. I say it's time to hold the PLP to account. The PLP need a timeout. They need to step away to remember why they were first elected. In saying that, I want to make it perfectly clear that I don't believe there is anything fundamentally wrong with the initial values of the Progressive Labour Party. Like the United Bermuda Party, it is a party of great tradition and history. These two parties have been locked together for more than 40 years on separate tracks, but ultimately heading in the same direction. And I assume that will continue for decades ahead, and it will be a journey with ups and downs. But now it's time for the PLP to spend some time in opposition. It's time for their leadership to relearn the point of government, which is to work for the people, to build houses, to educate our children, and to care for people who need. And we have a plan for the future. In the meantime, the United Bermuda Party is ready. This island faces immense challenges in the years ahead. Fixing our broken education system, housing our people, committing to a sustainable future, managing an increasingly brittle economy, and ensuring that our people are trained and ready to succeed. We have the team, we have the commitment to get the job done. Give us a chance. We've learned from our mistakes. We're ready to be your government. Give us a chance to work on your behalf. Give us a chance to move Bermuda forward together. We will not let you down. On behalf of my colleagues in the United Bermuda Party, I assure you, we will deliver. Obviously, we have some major challenges in that area. I think the National Training Board has tried to take up initiatives to bring some empowerment to Bermudians, but I think where we need to start is back earlier in the school years, because our young people have lost the hope and the desire to be educated and to move forward. We've got to get them earlier, get them involved in the program younger in the middle schools and the senior schools, and then they will have the desire to move forward, not only to study away, but also for technical education and things like that. That's one of the big areas that I think our economy is suffering right now, the technical educational opportunities. That's why we put a great emphasis on our Pathways to Success, which we announced about 2 weeks ago. For a number of months now, we've tried to talk about preaching a message of hope, not hate, and inclusion and those type of things. That's been our approach. We don't want to get into a muckraking agenda with the PLP at any time. It might happen as we get close to an election. You never know what's going to happen in the cut and thrust of politics. We want to continue to take the high road and talk about ourselves so people get to know us for what we are, what we stand for, and the agenda and the issues. I believe Bermudians see it for what it is. Yeah. Well, and if they don't, then maybe we'll have to realize that and change the agenda as we see moving forward to the election. But I have a lot of faith in the Bermudian electorate. We're close to politics here. We talk politics all the time, whether it's in your homes, in your businesses, on the streets. That's just the way it is in Bermuda. And I think the vast majority of people who are going to make a difference on election day can reflect on what both parties are saying and make up their mind for that. I want to take the high road in life. I'm not afraid to duke it out with anybody at any time. But I want to take the high road because that's what people expect from their leadership. I think it's very important to remember that any man can take somebody down. It takes leadership to bring somebody up. That's where we want to stay. PLP has always been clear on where they want to go on independence. And I think as we got closer to the last election, they bobbed and weaved. As we get closer to this election, they're finding they have to do the same thing. And I think now that they understand that people have spoken very clearly that there will be no move towards independence without a referendum. And ahead of the election, I think you'll hear the Premier make many statements to try to get people to understand that he hears what they have to say going forward. We've seen St. George's Police Station. We've seen Club Med. One day after we were in St. George's talking about our plans for St. George's, he was down at Club Med. 3 days later, they were down opening, trying to get the St. George's Police Station open again. So it's anything the United Bermuda Party says, the PLP will come back and say we're going to do something better. We say we're going to build 500 homes, they're going to build 550 homes. They have one problem. They got their record of 9 years. That's what the problem is. And I don't think that's going to be an easy one to run from. As far as the Southlands Jumeirah, our concern about that project has been clear from the very beginning. We are concerned about the issuing of SDOs by the governor of Bermuda without the possibility of the people having some impact on what goes on with that project. That was our concern with that project from the very beginning. It has nothing to do with the individuals involved, with the people that are supposed to be helping us develop to bring a tourism product to Bermuda, nothing to do with that. One of the big issues that we have with the Progressive Labour Party government is a lack of plans. Sir John said just a couple of minutes ago, there are 5 hotel projects on the agenda. If all 5 of those projects come to fruition, we have disaster in Bermuda with traffic, with workers, and all the myriad. We understand all of that. That's a huge problem. Another example, in lack of planning by the PLP, look at housing in Bermuda. We had a housing minister that stood on the floor of the House of Assembly a couple of years ago, and when we challenged him to show us a plan what they would do, he said, "My plan is holistic." That's a plan for housing in Bermuda. You can't run government by the seat of your pants. You need to have a plan for today, for tomorrow, for 5 years and 10 years. And that's what's lacking with this government. Anytime they think they've got some fat to pull out of the fire, they come up with a rabbit and pull it out of the hat. I don't intend to operate like that with my colleagues. And I think it would be a breath of fresh air. Let me be clear. Putting more police on the streets, arming the police with the technology and all the resources they need, giving them the resources as far as their buildings go and the equipment they work with, that's all good stuff. But in my opinion, one of the biggest issues we face in Bermuda is the issues of drugs. Drugs drive crime in Bermuda. We need to get to the bottom of the drug problem in Bermuda. And unfortunately, in a small community like Bermuda, we protect our own. If we continue to do that, you'll still have people breaking into your guest house. We need to stand up and say drugs are not going to work. And that's why the United Bermuda Party, the government that I will lead after the next election, is one that can have our members stand up and be drug tested, because we want to lead by example. And then when we show your leadership wants to lead by example, slowly you'll break down that armor that's up there and get people to be involved in the problem. Drugs is ruining our society, and it must stop, and it must stop now.